have another vlog for you guys about author signings!
Because we've been going to like a disturbing amount of them recently.
Apparently it's like author signing month in Canada. So we were chugging along and all of a sudden we realized that we have a Scott Westerfeld appearance in the chapters near us.
I was so excited.
We've been reading Scott Westerfeld since...
Forever?
Since he probably put out his first book.
So, basically what happened was I got there first for once. I hung out at Chapters for like an hour and a half holding like down the fort with seats and everything. And then Chelsey got here, we had our books, we waited, and he gave his like spiel about things.
A lot of NaNoWriMo talk.
Which kind of makes sense when you think about Afterworlds and the way Afterworlds is.
Oh my god, it was so relevant. He's lucky it was November though.
Yeah, and he's so funny. He was really funny.
You can see where his writerly humor comes from.
And he did like a Q&A, and he answered a lot of questions, and they were very, like, a lot of the questions were very poignant. Like, they weren't just like...
Yeah, he gave some really good writerly advice too. One of the good ones I found was, like, he was like, finish what you write. Because... yeah, okay, so you start like a million stories and you get about halfway, so you're really good at endings, you're pretty good at middles, but when you finally finish a book, you're gonna be so crappy at endings. So finish what you've read, or finish what you've written so that...
That kind of like sung true for me because that's my problem. I just blah blah, and then I get bored and I just never come back to it. I've been struggling with the same friggin' story for 8 years.
I know, me too. And I've started a bunch of things which I intend to finish. Like, it's not like I'm never gonna pick up this again, this is complete crap, but it's just, I never get past, I keep rewriting what I've already written and I never get past that one point. What else did he say? He said, if you're having trouble writing a character, start with a caricature, start writing, and eventually your character will hopefully turn into a real character.
I do that. One of my characters is such a caricature. It's hilarious. He's just... just like... stream of conscious. And like, from doing that, I've learned that you can never have something from that character's perspective because it would just be too painful.
I know. The last piece of advice he gave was, that I really liked at least, was have your characters make hard choices, because that is what makes people want to read. Like, if they're just kind of going along their merry way and they don't have to make a choice or a decision that's difficult, it's going to be really boring. But people get really into hard choices.
I really liked his advice of how to get over writer's block.
That was a great story.
He mentioned Raymond Chandler, who, if you know anything about Raymond Chandler, you know he wrote a whole bunch of hard-boiled fiction, which ended up becoming a lot of the film noir movies, and he was saying that how he got over writer's block, this crazy detective story writer, was he had a room with nothing in it except like a chair and desk and a typewriter. And it was either every day for the same amount of, like, same time every day for 4 hours, he'd go in and he'd sit there and he could either write or do nothing. And he's like, you trick your brain. Eventually your brain is going to choose doing something over doing nothing. And I'm just like, I have an empty room in my house. I'm desperate. Let's do this.
I'm desperate. And that is how we lost her to insanity.
But I bet you the stuff that comes out of that is going to be crazy.
Oh, I'm positive.
All work and no play makes you act dull boy.
Yeah.
Compared to the last signing we went to, this one was fairly small, and it was nice.
I really enjoyed my experience.
You got to actually talk to him. It wasn't just like book sign go. He like spoke to you.
If you brought all your books, he signed them. Kind of thing. And yeah, we weren't there for hours and hours listening to people screaming.
It started at 7. We were out at 7:50.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And so we went up and it was fun because this was my old store, and so the manager was like, oh yeah, this isn't all the point, and I'm just like because of course now that I'm actually involved again, I am just like, I cannot word at you. Chelsey word at him.
I did, so I was like, oh, I forgot you wrote Peeps. How did you come out of that without some kind of phobia? He's like, it's kind of like one of those things where you don't look at the pictures. So yeah.
I got home and I'm just like, do I want to look at the pictures? I didn't. I'm smart.
Strain is enough.
If you have not read Peeps, read Peeps, because that is a weird book. It's like a modern vampire thing. We have mentioned it before, but between every chapter there's like a brief write-up on a different type of parasite. And the majority of them are terrifying.
Oh my god.
And you think it would be weird and break the flow of the story?
No. You live for
it
these
works.
chapters.
These are the best chapters because you're like, how can you scare me even more?
Oh my god, why did I read that?
But you keep going.
You're like, I'm never eating beef again. I'm never walking barefoot. I am never doing a whole bunch of things.
No more sushi. No more traveling.
Oh my
no more swimming.
Just all these things are like suddenly off your list. These, I don't know. I feel like if I had to put like a book collection together for someone, I'd put Peeps, The Strain, and Parasite by Mira Grant all together, and I'd be like, here you go.
Yeah, have a book series about parasites.
Just
not a series, but a collection. Have a collection about parasites.
Exactly.
All of them are different,
but
all of them will make you uncomfortable. Except Parasite. Parasite won't make you uncomfortable. I didn't find Parasite.
No.
But The Strain.
Anyways, yeah, it was a very fun time. Some great writerly advice for NaNoWriMo.
Yeah, and it was fun because at one point he was just like, how many of you are doing NaNoWriMo? How many of you are behind? And I'm like, yeah!
Yep.
Chelsey, what's your word count at ish?
I write on a notebook, as in paper, so I have zero idea.
Okay, so we're going to figure this out. You, on average, a normal person, 250 words per page. How many pages have you written?
5.
I can't math.
5 times 2 is 10.
1,250.
Yeah. There you go.
8,080. That's me at this point in the game.
Yep. I just can't. I will write all year, but...
I have completed NaNoWriMo twice. And as I sit here writing, I sit there and I'm just like, how did I do this?
See, if I could not go to work every day, I'd do it, but just after I come home, I'm like, I need to do something that doesn't involve
thinking.
Yeah. No thinking. So anyways,
if you haven't read any book by Scott Westerfeld, we definitely recommend you check out his recent book Afterworlds, his Peeps and Last Days vampire books, the Uglies trilogy, which we both adored.
There's Leviathan. I have mixed feelings with that book.
I haven't read Leviathan yet. There's also So Yesterday, which is another book kind of about like trends and media.
But yeah, so tell us what you think of his work and if you've run into him before.
Alright, so
bye guys.
We'll see you guys later.